The story begins at Bergdorf Goodman, the high-end department store across the street from Trump Tower, where E. Jean Carroll ran into Donald Trump when she was leaving the store and he was entering the store. His first words were, "Hey, you're that advice lady." This is E. Jean Carroll. Thank you very, very much for being here tonight.
That was a ravishing introduction. Thank you very much.
Let me just say that, just as a writer, because we've known each other a long time as writers, the writing in both New York Magazine and in your new book is just riveting, and it's odd to use the word beautiful when you're talking about tragedy, but prose in and of itself is often a work of art, and it is in this. But it's also journalistically very powerful, very precise, very careful. And you describe things that way when you describe what happened when Donald Trump walked into Bergdorf. He asked you, as the advice lady, for advice on buying a gift for what he identified simply as a girl. And then what happened?
Well,
And then what happened?
Well, I said, we were standing right near the handbags, so I pointed to the handbags. And of course, the idea of a handbag, he put, you know the expression he makes where both of his lips rise up, like balancing a spoon? So the handbag idea was not going to fly. So I said, hats. Every woman loves a hat, because the hats were displayed right next to the handbag. So we stroll over to the hats, and he's, you know, he greets the people like he is, you know, the king of Siam. It was fabulous to see him. And he goes right straight for a fur number. And I thought, well, I said out loud, a woman doesn't want to wear a dead animal on her head. And so he, you know, he's holding it in his hands. And I say, how old is the young woman, or how old is the woman we're choosing a present for? And he looked at me and he said, how old are you? And the way he looked at me, you could see he was trying to calibrate how old a person, my thigh bone in a Neanderthal cave. You know, it was like that kind of look. Okay. So I just, Lawrence, I wish I had said, I'll tell you my age if you show me your tax returns.
Yeah, it would have been helpful now.
Well, how would
so eventually, he says, let's go look at the lingerie, and he gets you to the lingerie department.
Lingerie.
He knows where that is, so he gets you right up there. Yeah.
He may have shouted underwear.
Yeah.
Okay, so up the escalators we go. And at this point, in Bergdorf Goodman's, which is the greatest department store on the face, it's cozy, it's posh, they take care of their customers beautifully, and we're going up. The store is not very crowded. It is like 6:37 in the evening, and we walk down to the lingerie department. There is nobody there. There's empty. And on the counter, which was to the left as you enter, this is in 1995, 1996, there were a couple of really fancy lingerie boxes, and there was this really beautiful, filmy, gray, see-through bodysuit. And he snatched it up. He said, go put this on. it struck me as one of the funniest things I've ever heard a man say. I said, you put it on. He said, no, no, you look good in this. Try this on. And he holds it up against my butt. I said, no, it goes with your eyes. You put it on. And I used to be a writer at Saturday Night Live. So this whole situation struck me as one of the funniest things. Donald Trump is standing there with this filmy thing, and I have the idea that I'm going to make him put it on over his pants. That was my idea.
As you go toward the changing
As we
rooms.
start to move towards it, and he said, you know, after you. So we walked. Here's the other odd thing. The dressing room doors, I only remembered one door, was unlocked and open, which is very unusual for Bergdorf's. There was nobody there, and the door was open. Bergdorf's usually keeps their dressing room doors locked. So he goes like this. I walked in. He shut the door behind us and threw me up against the wall and kissed me. I couldn't believe it. I am laughing all the way into the room, and I was smacked against the wall. Lawrence, I've never been so shocked. It's just the last thing I expected, and here's the thing, I kept laughing because I thought, this is not a good situation. If you laugh at a man, it will usually, you know, crush his ego. So I am laughing to beat the band.
In trying to counter-signal what he's actually doing.
Yeah, I'm laughing.
You're trying to change this situation.
That's exactly what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
This is when I was still able to think. I had just about 25 seconds there before the adrenaline started to pour in, so I could actually make a decision. That was a conscious decision to, you're so funny, this is so hilarious. At about 30 seconds, he pushed himself up against me with one shoulder. You know, he's a large man, not as large as he is now, but he was, you know, 6'3". At the time, I was wearing 4-inch heels, so I was a good 6'1", and I was a competitive athlete. And so he's going to have to struggle to do anything, and he's trying to kiss me again, which was just, you know, which stopped me laughing for a minute, but then I could push him back. But the next thing he did was put his shoulder against me, and then his hand went, I was wearing just a black Donna Karan coat dress and tights. And it was a work of a second to reach in under my Donna Karan, it opened in the front, through the Donna Karan dress, and pulled down my tights. That's when my brain went on. That's when the adrenaline started, and it became a fight. And it hurt. And it was against my will. And I don't know where I got the strength, because he was big, but I think I was stomping my foot. I have my handbag in this arm. I never put it down. I'm holding it. I have no idea. The only reason I know I'm holding it is because when I got out in the street, I still had it in my hand. So somehow I got my knee up and pushed him back. And the minute he backed up, I was out the door and right down the steps. And I don't know if I went the elevator or the escalator. I have a feeling I just took the slow escalator down and made it out to Fifth Avenue.